The other options that you have as an administrator is to add new users. So the best way to do that is to go to the Add Users option in the CTS dropdown, and then you'll want to fill out the username, name, address. So in this case, the username is typically the first name dot last name. And then your email address will be, at the initial startup, you'll actually create a password for the user. They can go in after they're done and change that password at any time. So typically we make it something very easy. 1, 2, 3, 4 or matrix. Make sure you enter it in both situations. Now if the customer or if the new user is going to be somebody internal to Johnson Health Tech, they will get the labeling of CTS. If the user is going to be somebody external to Johnson Health Tech, a facility manager, somebody that is involved on the club level that is not an employee of JHT, we go with the standard option. Now, once you're in the standard option, you want to also make sure that you assign them an organization. And then you can notify the user by email. This will allow them to get an automated email providing them with their name and password and helping them to log into the site for the first time. Now, the first time you log into asset management, it will take you through a tutorial guide to help understand more of the nuance of the site. The last step that you need to do after a new user is created is to give them permission to see their facilities in the site. To do this, go to the users list from the CTS dropdown and find your new user that you just created. Once you've found your user, you'll see that the organization is listed as blank. Now for CTS users, that will actually automatically populate with everybody, but for our facility managers and external users, this is important that you go back in and select their user, and once you are in there, you'll need to set permissions. This allows them to, or this allows you to decide what parts of the site they have access to. You'll need to set permissions for this user. This setting permissions dictates what part of the site we are actually giving this user access to. So now that you're in the set permissions option, you'll need to select the different tag that's available to you. In our situation, we're just trying to see one facility. So we need to start at the organization level and find the organization that we've created. Then proceed to the tag type. Now, if you've already created a different tag type in the groupings that we discussed in the organization creation, then you'll have multiple options here. In most cases, you will have just the facility option. Now that you're in the facility, you want to find that one facility that we've just created that we're going to allow access to, and then assign the tag. So now that you've assigned the tag, you'll see that the new facility is all listed under the assigned tags part of the set permissions menu. You can now proceed to add extra facilities or organizations from this menu. Say this organization adds a new facility and our user needs to see something additional. You can just go into their edit user and select another facility that they can have permissions to. There's no limit to how many individual locations or organizations that you want to provide access to. If you want to provide visibility for an entire organization, the way to do that is actually go to Base and then select your tag type of either Global SBU or Organization. You'll see the different options here. So on the Global SBU side, you can find, for example, Germany. If you were to apply that tag, then that would give you visibility over any facility that has been sold to or sold through the German SBU. Same thing with any of these locations, and that's what the SBU tag is for. For the org, that would be just like the testing organization that we created today. So we can bring this down and just add the testing organization. Now this is very convenient if you provide somebody organization access instead of just facility access, because then if they add another facility to their organization, you don't have to go back in and actually manually add another one. They will automatically see it because it's part of their organization and they have permission for that. So that's kind of the wrap up on tags and setting permissions. Remember that it's very important to set permissions after you create a new user, otherwise they will log in and they won't actually be able to access any single part of the site.